Welcome to episode 18 of In His Bag. Not a lot of stuff has happened as of late, so this is going to be a very main topic heavy episode and game time heavy episode. So without further ado, cue the intro music in 3, 2, 1.
Tedeschi dentro sotto per Dybala, attenzione, va la gioia di Dybala! Stokely down the sideline, can they catch him? Stokely, wow!
They do have a timeout, decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown, bang, bang!
Like I said, not a lot of stuff has been happening in the world of sports in general. It's kind of a dead period. NFL is just waiting for training camp to start in July. No major free agents moves. NBA's at this point waiting for the finals to end. Soccer's waiting for the World Cup to start in 2 weeks. So not too much news to get into. So we'll kind of just breeze through that with So let's just start in the news. One of the pretty much only major things that has happened in the news is in the NFL, Derwin James is now the highest paid safety for the second time in his career. He agreed to a 3-year, $25.2 million per year extension. So basically he's getting $75.6 million over the course of 3 years. And of those 75.6, that's 57.5 fully guaranteed. So it looks like the Chargers now are just trying to solidify their defense with kind of whatever they have left at this point. It's because they don't really have the greatest defense in the world. It leaves a lot to be desired. I feel like Jesse Minter he got the best out of them in terms of what he was able to get from players like Odafe Owe, who isn't even on the team anymore. He's on the Commanders now, and just a bunch of other guys. So keeping Derwin James, yes, he's going to be your captain, your leader on the defensive side of the ball, apart from Khalil Mack, and he is an extremely good safety. But I feel like it's not going to have the biggest impact on the Chargers season in terms of defensive production, just because I feel like their defense is definitely going to take a step back compared to last year. I think Jesse Minter was the reason that they were I don't remember what exactly they finished. I think they were middle-ish of the pack. So for me, Minter was the reason that they were there, but retaining Derwin James certainly won't hurt them in any capacity. It's just it's a bit much. 75.6 and then 57.6 is a 57.6 guaranteed is a bit much for me, just because he is getting older now. He's up, and that we've seen DBs kind of hit an age cliff in terms of their production. So I don't know if that age cliff hits, how much that really impacts the Chargers, and also I don't know what the spread of the guarantees are, and if they're more towards the end, does that affect the Chargers' ability to kind of move off of the deal in some capacity? But it's still not a horrible deal. It could be a lot worse. And then a lot worse would be something like Josh Jacobs. He was arrested and booked on 5 charges of battery/domestic abuse, criminal damage to property and domestic abuse, disorderly conduct, domestic abuse, strangulation, suffocation, and intimidation of a victim. He was later released, I believe, but this is insane. 5 separate charges, is wild. I don't understand why. I haven't seen all the details of this. Um, this came out, I think, 3 days ago, but it's why exactly is this happening? I'm not sure what exactly he's doing to like people in his free time. I don't know, but I also just don't understand what NFL players like the mentality behind them doing these sorts of things. Like, why do they feel like they are permitted or allow? Why do they feel like they can do this stuff when a it's against the law, b it cuts into your wallets because he will get suspended to some capacity for this. I'm sure. We haven't seen anything come out just yet, but there should be some sort of suspension for the league for this, which cuts into his paycheck. So I don't understand why athletes just have this proclivity for violence in just doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing in any capacity. And I'm going to build on that by talking about Brendan Sorsby, the Texas Tech quarterback, who he requested a reinstatement for eligibility for the 2026 season after he admitted to a gambling addiction. And it came out, this tweet is again from 3 days ago, same day as Josh Jacobs stuff, but it came out today that he betted on 40 Indiana games. He placed 40 bets on Indiana Hoosier games. There aren't even 40 college football games per team per season. There's 12 regular season plus 13 if you go to a singular bowl game. Indiana, I think they played, 15? 15, 16 games? He, nearly tripled that in terms of bets placed. So this man's putting on, parlays, or he's doing, prop bets or something. And that's insane. I don't understand why he thinks that is okay. This is another thing. I don't understand why athletes act like it's accept. I kind of said this with Jacobs. I kind of repeating what I said, but why athletes think they can get away with the stuff. They're like, yeah, as speaking from the perspective of a college athlete, there is extensive stuff against gambling when it comes to signing up for NCAA, like your eligibility, things like that, the amount of waivers that you have to sign. It's a lot of stuff about you can't bet on college sports. You can't bet on anything related to your team, anything related to your sport. You have insider information, which places you at an advantageous position. So there is a long list of stuff there that you have to sign, and I don't understand why you feel like you have some exception to that rule. You'd be like, oh yeah, I did my 35-day mandatory in-person therapy. Now I should be able to play. No, you violated the rules. You placed 40 bets, 40 bets. You don't get just free pass to be able to jump back into college football and be like, yeah, I'm special. I deserve better than everyone else. They suck and I don't. Not how that works. So, some unfortunate news coming from the world of football, both college and in the NFL. And then going over to the NBA. Before we talk about the playoffs, we got to talk about the draft lottery. The NBA Board of Governors passed a new anti-tanking rule that includes expanding the lottery to 16 teams, a relegation zone where the bottom three teams get penalized with lessened chances for the number one picks, and they're also flattening the odds. So basically, they're going through with one of the proposed plans that Adam Silver had for the lottery, and I I have some issues with this. I don't have an issue going from 14 to 16 teams. I don't have an issue with that. Um, a relegation zone for the bottom three is kind of dumb to me because I feel like you're just going to get stuck in a spot where, because the teams at the bottom aren't getting these top players, they're just going to stay at the bottom and stay bad. Like, you're you're just going to keep these teams like the Kings, or I don't know, like the Kings or the Pelicans or something. They're just going to stay at the bottom of the league no matter what, because now, oh, we were the worst team in the league. We had the worst record. Now we don't get a good pick. We can't get a top 3 pick. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you want these teams to get better, you need to give them good picks. Like the Wizards this year. You want the Wizards to get better? They ended up with the first overall pick. That's good. That's a very positive thing. It's like the Patriots a couple years ago. Like, Patriots wanted to get better. They were horrible. They got Drake May, who is a I had him top 7 quarterback, top 6 quarterback in the league in my rankings in last episode. Like, if you want a team and you have a lottery system, if you want teams to get better, you need the bad ones to get good players. And the only way to do that is through the draft, because a lot of free agents won't want to go to those bad teams. So you need to build teams through the draft, and penalizing bottom 3 teams is not how you're going to do that. And that kind of transitions over to the flattened odds still. Like, it makes sense. You can, like, it's boosting competition in the regular season, I guess, because now you could fight for that play-in spot, and even if you make the play-in, it won't impact your lottery odds too much. It won't make your lottery odds go up any higher, which is good. But, like, I still have some gripes with that. So some issues with the new format, but as we've seen with Adam Silver and his new regime, if he feels like there's an issue, he will address it, whether that is play-in tournament, whether that play-in tournament and the end of the season trying to drive up competition, whether that's the in-season tournament trying to drive up like the competition in like the middle of the season when it kind of dies down. So if there is an issue, he tries to address it very directly, like also the load management stuff, 65 game rule. So there could be some issues like the 65 game rule with this new lottery thing, but that remains to be seen until like we actually go through a full season with this new rule. But as of right now, season isn't over. We are still in the NBA playoffs. And stuff that has happened since we last spoke. The Knicks swept the Cavs. They won Game 4 by, I believe, 37 points, if my math is correct there. They won 130-93, and it wasn't even close. The Knicks are now, I believe, on a 10-game winning streak. 11 game winning streak, I believe. It's just nuts. I don't know. I don't think anyone can stop them at this point. They tore through the East. After they were down 2-1 to the Hawks, they just won 3 straight, and then you won 4 straight against the Sixers. You won another 4 against the Cavs. You're on an 11-game winning streak. The city of New York is about to burn down if you win a game in the finals. The New York's metro system is about to shut down because Game 1 of the finals, or Game 3 of the finals, the first game that'll be in New York, is also the same day as a World Cup game at MetLife. So the subway system in New York is going to shut down. And if New York wins one of those games, I fear the city might go up in flames. If you have not seen the videos, it looked like the entire NYPD to be on high alert. They were standing guard, but you still had people like crowd surfing on fences out there. It was insane stuff. But apart from that, apart from the insanity of Knicks fans who are a different breed of human being, it's very interesting. The Knicks, I don't know what Mike Brown did after game 3 of that Hawks series, but the Knicks just like clicked. They figured something out. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like Mike Brown, I don't know what he did, what he said to Cat, what he said to OG, what he said to Mikal, what he said to Brunson. They're just clicking on all cylinders. And then yes, you have the occasional stinker from Josh Hart, but then Landry Shamet steps up in his place when that happens. Like all of these guys are just coming in, they're doing their part. So the Knicks are just playing at an absolute all-time level right now. And then you go over to the Western Conference, and as I predicted, the series is going game 7 in Oklahoma City. Thunder Spurs gave it 7 tomorrow at 5 p.m. And oh boy. The Spurs won game 6, Thunder won game 5, and that series is just back and forth. They're throwing haymakers. Spurs led for the entirety of game 6, did not let up, and they were really, really impressive. And now going into game 7, yes, it's in OKC, but there is the caveat that J-Dub has been ruled out for game 7. So that is interesting because yes, you have the combination of Chet and Hartenstein on Wemby, but J-Dub is still your secondary ball handler aside from Shea. So taking him away is interesting. Also, you don't know if Caruso, McCain, and the other Jalen Williams are going to be able to step up like they have been in the other games. Like Jared McCain, he had 25 points in, I think it was game 5. You had Jalen Williams also coming out, putting on a show in game 5. Alex Caruso has been extremely good. Like, are they going to be able to sustain that in game 7? I don't know. I'm not completely sure that's going to happen. So I feel like this game 7 could go honestly either way. It might be a Wemby like covered out party. He just has another like 42, 24. 42 points, 24 rebounds, like 10 assists, 5 blocks, or whatever the heck, and just stamps himself as, I am the best player in the league now. There's no one that is going to be able to challenge me for the next 10 years. I will win 4 MVPs, and I will win 7 DPOIs, and you can all go twiddle your thumbs. So that is also very possible. But game 7 tomorrow, and I can't wait for that. And then whoever wins that series will face off against the Knicks. First game is on June 3rd at 5:30 p.m. It'll be either in Oklahoma or in San Antonio. And that is an interesting matchup there. Firstly, because the Knicks are coming off, I think they'll have maybe like 10 days rest. I think, no, because game 4 was on Monday, and that'll be on June 3rd. So, yeah, that'll be like, because that's on Wednesday. That's like 9, yeah, that's 9 days rest. That's a lot. I don't know if they're going to be able, because we saw in that first in the game 1 of the Cavs series, they came out rusty and then had to come away with that crazy 22-point comeback to win an OT. I don't know if they come out rusty in game 1, like first half. I don't know if they're going to be able to make that 22-point comeback against the Spurs and Thunder. I think their defense for the Spurs and Thunder is way too good. And if Spurs or Thunders take game 1, that shifts the series momentum big time in their favor. And I think it's a lot harder for the Knicks to recover from that. So I think the Knicks have to come out game 1, make a statement. Even if it's a close game, I feel like if it's like a 2-point game and you lose, that's fine, because that shows signs of life from the Knicks. That shows there isn't any rust, and that might tire out whoever's coming out of the West. So you either win or you lose by like 2-3 points in a close back and forth game. There is no blowout loss to the West, because if there is, you can say goodbye to your hopes of winning a finals. If either of those teams in the West smells blood, you are done for in the finals for the Knicks. So let's look at the schedule. Starting off, before our next episode, we only have 3 games. Like I mentioned, we have the game tomorrow night, Game 7. San Antonio is going to OKC at 5 p.m. And then Game 1 of the finals will be on June 3rd, Wednesday at 5:30. It'll be New York traveling to either San Antonio or Oklahoma City. And then Game 2 of the finals will again be in San Antonio or OKC. That'll also be at 5:30. All the games now are 5:30. Finals games are all on ABC. So tune in to the finals, because that is going to be an amazing series. Tune in tomorrow too, because that's going to be spectacular. But aside from that, the other thing that's happening tomorrow, Champions League final, PSG and Arsenal. I flipped that. PSG, Arsenal. And this is going to be a great match. Like when you just look overall at the stats, PSG 44 goals to Arsenal's 29 in the Champions League, but the goal differential favors Arsenal. 23 goals for Arsenal to 22 for PSG. That means that PSG's defense isn't exactly spectacular. They are giving up. They have given up 22 goals in the Champions League so far, while Arsenal have only given up 6. So there's a big gap there. I think that could potentially be a big difference, but then again, I feel like the firepower. My official prediction, I have PSG winning. I want to say 2-1. I think that PSG's firepower, you have Kvaratskhelia, you have Dembele, you have Doué, you have Barcola, you have all of these guys in the midfield. You have Joao Neves, you have Vitinha, you have the Spanish midfielder. You have all of this attacking firepower that is just insane, and then you have the insane strategy of Luis Enrique there as well to boost you up. So I feel like PSG might be able to just completely overwhelm Arsenal's back line in terms of their creativity, their attacking prowess, and what they're able to do. So that is something that could really shift the game in PSG's favor. But PSG do have they have attacking power. You have Gabriel Martinelli, you have Gyökeres, you have Saka, you have Odegaard, you have these extremely talented guys all over the field for them as well. I just don't think that they're at the level of the guys on PSG, but they're still extremely talented. I think I said 2-1, and that's because I think it's going to go PSG goal, Arsenal ties, and then PSG scores their second in the second half to kind of seal it, and then Enrique, he employs his tactics, things like that, in the latter half of the second half of the game, and it just really shuts everything down on the defensive side. But if Arsenal comes out and they score first, I think that could put them in a very advantageous position and possibly for them to win, because then I feel like it's an interesting situation because you put yourself at risk of being constantly attacked by that insane PSG offense, which could pose some major issues. But if you can avoid that, and just play defense, be a very possessive team with Odegaard, with Rice in the midfield, just controlling the flow of everything, and then just go into half up 1-0 and then maybe score a second in the second half. That's the recipe to win for me for Arsenal. So it'll be very interesting to see what this turns out to be, because it's a very tactical matchup, but there is the talent all over the field for things to change in an instant. So that game tomorrow, 9 a.m., is without a doubt something that everybody has to tune into. And now we're going to get into the main topic of the episode. I'm going to be grading the stars of all of our playoff teams, all 16 playoff teams. And we're going to start off with the Philadelphia 76ers. So, Tyrese Maxey, I gave him a solid B. He did have some struggles, especially in that Knicks series. It looked like he was having a tough time dealing with Mikal Bridges. Truth to be told, Mikal Bridges played tremendously. But he, in the Celtics series, in that 3-1 comeback, he really exposed Derek White for the struggles that he's been having. So it was a very positive outlook for him in that series, which definitely swayed me a lot, just because also I don't like the Celtics. Will always have a personal bias against them. And I think that Maxey just played very well in that series, but then in the Knicks series, it kind of took a step back and did struggle, which ultimately was one of the reasons why they weren't able to take at least one game away from the Knicks. And then his co-star, Joel Embiid, coming off of appendicitis, even though he did miss a couple games in that Celtics series, he did come back, and it looked like he surprised the Celtics. So he made a difference when he came back too. It looked like the Celtics weren't really prepared to deal with his size and scoring. He put up still, I believe it was 24 points or something like that. Good numbers on solid efficiency, was able to really make an impact for them on offensive side of the ball. Defense, he doesn't really move like he used to, but he still had a good impact. And there's also, of course, the fact he sent the Celtics home. He helped them make a 3-1 comeback. That holds a lot of weight for me. So I give Joel Embiid an A, even though I am not the biggest fan of his play overall. Let's put it that way. And then we'll go to Scotty Barnes. I gave Scotty an A. He pushed the Cavaliers pretty much single-handedly to Game 7, because he didn't really have help from Ingram at all. Vale quickly wasn't really there either, and one of the best two-way players in the playoffs. He kind of stole the title as best player in his draft between him and Mobley. That's been a debate that's been going on for a while. No, he was there. He took that title away, and he was just phenomenal in the series. It sucks that he wasn't able to really come away with the Game 7 win against the Cavaliers, but he still had a tremendous impact on his team and was extremely, extremely good, both on defensive side of the ball and also on offense, creating his own shot and also creating for others. He does still have some passing chops. Also, his rebounding and things like that were very good and made a really, really big impact for the Raptors. So I gave Scotty Barnes an A. After that, we get to the Celtics. Two very different grades here. Jason Tatum, gave him a B. Yes, he ultimately did get hurt and missed Game 7. Arguably, the Celtics maybe played better without him, but he still gave you decent numbers, like Tatum type numbers, or Tatum type numbers at least for this season with when he came back from injury. So there was production there. It wasn't like anything horrible or disaster that would limit him or make him somehow like a lower grade. I just don't think he deserves anything higher than that, just than a B, just because it you blew a 3-1 lead. That already knocks you down like a tier or a letter grade for me right off the bat. So that's a major issue. But his play wasn't horrible. It's just the his rushed comeback from the Achilles is something that wasn't great, and I think that it impacted his play, and you could see that clearly on the court. And then Jaylen Brown, his play on the court, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like horrendous. Again, he's knocked down a letter grade because he blew a 3-1 lead. But also all of the comments that he made after. He made an absolute fool of himself with all of those flopping, calling out the referees after the game, going on Twitch or whatever streaming platform he was on, talking about it. So it wasn't a great look for him in that department either. And I feel like he was number one option for a lot of the season. He didn't make first team All NBA. He made second team, but he didn't look great. He didn't really look like the MVP that people were saying he was. I didn't see that at all when I was watching this series. So there were some big issues from him in terms of his shooting. For me, at least, I saw some of the dribbling issues that flared up in the 2022 final against the Warriors. I saw some of those issues come up again when I was watching him. So there were some things that I wasn't the biggest fan of, and that's why I docked him a lot of points in terms of his playoff performance, and also just like first round, like you came into the playoffs as a 2 seed. Everyone thought that the East was wide open, and you were going to be able to come in and just sweep everyone, or not sweep, but just take care of business. You weren't able to do that, so that's a big issue. And then after that, Knicks A plus, A's all around. I don't care. Brunson, I don't care that in the conference finals he didn't exactly perform at the highest level, but still before the conference finals, I think he was still averaging like 27. He's still playoff Brunson. He's still leading his team, doing everything that you want him to see. But even in the conference finals, like he may not have put up the points per game that a lot of people have grown accustomed to, but you still saw all of those clutch buckets, even in that game one going into overtime. It was Jalen Brunson down the stretch, making tough shots when he needed to do, when they needed it, just connecting on everything that made the Knicks able to make that comeback. And he's playing phenomenal. And then Cat also is just playing spectacularly. I don't think I've ever seen a guy in year 10, year 11, just completely reinvent himself on the defensive side of the ball. The dude's grabbing, I think, like 10 rebounds now. He's just playing lockdown defense. I can't understand how. He's still shooting the ball well, doing everything that you want on the offensive side of the ball. It looks like Mike Brown, what people said about him being able to lock Cat, it looks like he has in the playoffs. I mentioned it earlier when I was talking about the playoff series with the Knicks making it to the conference finals. I don't know what Mike Brown said after Game 3 of that Hawks series, but he's just unlocked them completely. Just they've been playing out of their minds, and Cat especially has been playing phenomenally. So A plus is all around for all of the Knicks players. I don't care. You can add OG, you can add McHale, you can add Landry Shamet on here. They all get an A plus. And then we get to some guys who don't get Any A pluses? Houston Rockets. EXPU, bro. They stunk. KD, not exactly his best series. He gets a D. Uh, against a team that didn't really have a true wing stopper, I feel like KD should have been able to get off more of his game than he actually did. Like the Lakers, they like they don't have a true like wing stopper that should have impacted KD, but he didn't end up having a good series. He didn't play that well, and that really tempered my like grade of him. I thought that he would be able to perform like in against the Lakers. Like, sure, maybe LeBron guarded you for a decent amount of the time, but then even like those moments when he wasn't guarding you, who was gonna guard you there? Like Fando, Marcus Smart. Like, what are we talking about? You should have been able to get your game off, but you weren't really able to do that. And then that same thing goes for Sengun. Sengun gets an F, bro. He got cooked. He looked horrible in this series. He wasn't able to distribute the ball. He shot, I think it was 12% from three. He had, I think it was 51% true shooting, which for a big is terrible. His passing wasn't there. It just like it did not look good at all from any aspect of what his normal game is. And you're going against DeAndre Ayton and Jackson Hayes. Those guys aren't exactly known as being the best ball stoppers, like rim protectors in the league. Those guys are both known as being relatively Charmin soft. And Sengun just was not able to take advantage of that at all. And they got sent packing first round. They were down 3-0 before they were able to win a game in the first round. That was a major, major issue for them in terms of what it looked like overall for them. So Sengun gets an F. I hated that performance. I am at an all-time low on my Sengun stocks. Like it's bad right now. I don't even know if I like them going into next year. And then we get to the Spurs, team currently battling for their spot in the finals. Talk about stars. Stephon Castle's a star. He looks really good, especially in this series against the Thunder. Yes, I know that he's had his turnover issues in this Thunder series. You got to understand, the Thunder is one of the best defenses in the league. Like, bar none. It's not close. Thunder's defense is amazing in all facets, in like jumping into passing lanes, at the rim, forcing turnovers, whatever. So I understand those turnovers from Castle, but apart from that, he is been their primary ball handler like most of the playoffs, especially the Thunder series. He's been primary ball handler a lot, and he's looked really good. He's coming up with clutch buckets when the Spurs need him, especially like game one. He was coming away with a lot of clutch shots, going to the free throw line, making his free throws as well. He's looked very well. He's been able to dish the ball out as well, so he's looked very good. I gave him a B. And the guy that he's kind of been filling in for, De'Aaron Fox, I give him an F. De'Aaron Fox injured for, I believe it was the first 2 games of this Thunder series. That really finished off my evaluation of De'Aaron Fox. Yes, I know he's played in all of the games since, but even then he hasn't looked great. But for me, going into this series, Fox had to show that the Spurs needed him. That without him, Castle and Harper would kind of struggle. It's true that Harper doesn't turn the ball over, or that Castle doesn't turn the ball over as much when Fox is on the court. But still, game 1 and 2, they didn't look so out of place without Fox. They still looked very comfortable having Harper and Castle on the floor compared to having, say, Fox and Castle on the floor, Harper coming off the bench. They still looked very comfortable with Harper and Castle on the floor, which is a major hit to De'Aaron Fox's stock. I don't know if the Spurs are going to keep him next season because of that, and that really tanked my grade for him. I was really disappointed in him in terms of what he's been able to produce on the court as well. His scoring hasn't exactly been that good. So it's just some big, big issues with his performance. And then we don't even need to talk about Wemby. Fucking 42 points, 24 rebounds in a single game. Gets an A+. The dude is announcing himself as top 3 player, arguably top 1 player in the league right now. And he's just doing everything that you could want your superstar to do. Offensively, defensively, scoring, passing, rebounding, blocking shots, just making teams completely rethink the way they operate. Yeah, Wemby does it all. There's no debate on where he stands. A+, move on. Cade Cunningham, I gave an A. I think even though the Pistons went out kind of sad in the second round against the Cavs, Game 7, after being the 1 seed, I think Cade Cunningham still gets an A, and I'll get into him in a second. He gets an A because Jalen Duren was maybe the fattest F out of everyone here, even fatter than Sengun's F. Jalen Duren looked horrible in this series. He did not look anything like the All-NBA player that we saw during the season. 20 points, gone. He was averaging like 10. In the last 4 games of that Cavs series, I think he was averaging like 26 minutes a game. That's not what you want from your All-NBA center. The dude looked like he couldn't get a shot up. He looked lost on the court. He looked like he had no idea what he was doing. He looked clunky. He looked slow. And he just had a horrible performance in that second round. And that forced Cade to have to step up. And Cade stepped up. He played phenomenally. Yes, we know Cade isn't the most efficient scorer in the league. He's gonna chuck up some shots. But let's be honest here. That's not really his fault. Cade's chucking up those shots because guys like Duren aren't stepping up. Asar isn't exactly a 3-and-D player. He's a more D player only. Your bench depth was kind of shot in this series. Yeah, Tobias Harris came out in a couple of those games against the Cavs. Cool. But what else did you have? Nothing. There was some major issues that Cade had to address, and he did the best he could. He played phenomenal, but the rest of the series, the rest of the team, piss poor, and Jalen Duren was bottom of the barrel in terms of that. He was horrible in all facets of the game. And then the team that they lost to in the conference finals, the Cavaliers. I gave James Harden a B, just because he stepped up in those games that D. Mitch didn't. But obviously it's not an A. It's 37-year-old James Harden. It's no longer MVP James Harden like 2016, 17, 18 James Harden, the dude that was challenging the Warriors. But still, he wasn't horrible in terms of what he brought to the court. He was stepping up. He was scoring. He was still passing the ball, doing everything that he could to try and lead this Cavs team farther into the playoffs, which they did get. They got to the conference finals. Cool. They did get swept by the Knicks. Then again, as I kind of mentioned with the Maxey grade, Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby have just been playing their butts off, so you kind of get a pass for having to deal with two animals. So James Harden gets a B. Evan Mobley gets a C. I was not really impressed with his performance in this series. Led a lot to be desired on the court. I thought that he, obviously, that top 10 leap that we thought we were going to get didn't happen. And I still held hope that he would step up in the playoffs. He didn't really do that either. So there were still some major flaws in his game that I feel like the Knicks were able to exploit. Cat especially made Mobley look kind of pedestrian. That's last year's DPOY. And Cat made him look very pedestrian, which is a pretty big issue when it comes to the guy that you kind of want to be your center stone for the future. And then Donovan Mitchell, I gave him a D. I feel like his ball hogging tendencies had some negative impact on the Cavs. Yes, he still got his shot off, but he wasn't the playoff riser that we really seen in previous years, and that wasn't great. It was just some major issues in his play that I couldn't really overlook when handing out my grades. I think that he didn't look great on defense. He looked like he was getting run past, especially in that Knicks series. It looked like Brunson was just taking advantage of whatever matchups he wanted. This also goes for Harden as well. Brunson was just picking them apart on the defensive end of the court. It was just whatever shot he wanted, he was getting that. So that is also a major issue there. But just overall, D. Mitch did not impress me in terms of his play on the court. So hopefully, well, not hopefully, I don't know what the situation with the Cavs is going to look like during the offseason because there are definitely going to be changes made. But it'll be interesting. After that, we get to the Lakers. Obviously, Austin Reeves missed a decent chunk of the Rockets series coming back from that oblique injury. And obviously, oblique injuries, a lot of people don't realize how much that impacts athletes, especially NBA athletes. It's a major, major thing that they have to deal with. So he was rounding into form kind of in that Thunder series, even though they got swept. He didn't. So the C is kind of just like TBD, inconclusive, because he was kind of just recovering the entire time. And he did look great. He looked like he was picking up. So there are some positives there, but it's just really injuries kind of hampered his performance. So we don't truly know what it would have looked like if he was healthy going into the playoffs. And then LeBron, I gave an A to LeBron. He stepped up big time. He looked really good, especially in that Rockets series, being the one option on offense, but also then stepping up on the defensive end of the court, making adjustments, and just being the guy that the Lakers could go to even at, I think it's his age 41 season or something like that, be the guy that the Lakers could rely on to score and then just do his best to lock down on defense. He played extremely well. So I gave LeBron a B. It was just very high quality stuff from him in terms of his play on the court. And then Devin Booker, I gave a C. I don't really have too many comments from him. Yeah, you faced the Thunder. You were kind of doomed to fail from the start in terms of ever winning a game in that series. So that's a major caveat right there already. But it looked like his level of play, like the Devin Booker that everyone said was, top 2 shooting guard in the league. I don't know. He hasn't really looked like that guy anymore. The assists have kind of gone down a bit. The scoring has also kind of gone down a bit. He didn't look like the guy that was just absolutely killing it in years past. So there were some questions for me in terms of that. But we are kind of grading on the curve because it was him and pretty much no one else against the best defense in the league with the Thunder. So I'll just give him a C, very lenient grade, but noticing there are some things that did not look good in that series for Devin Booker. After that, Jalen Johnson with the Hawks, I gave him a D. Unlike Devin Booker, who's kind of just taking a step back, it looked like, for me at least, the lights were a bit too bright for Jalen Johnson in the series, albeit, yes, it's his first time in the playoffs as a one option. So there is a caveat there. But it feels like there were some moments where he definitely failed to step up. He wasn't playing to the level that the Hawks wanted him to play at in terms of be our number one option, lead our team, get buckets, do everything that we want you to. But so he did falter there. I also feel like there are some points where you can't really shoulder this guy with all of that, especially considering the roster that they have around him. It's not the most conductive to winning. So there is that caveat of you didn't really have the best opportunity around you, but there are still things you can learn and grow from this opportunity. So I gave him a D. After that, the Magic. I feel like I was very lenient with the Magic grades. Paolo, I gave him a C just because we know what he is. He did his playoff riser stuff and all that. But there were moments where he did not look great. I wasn't the biggest fan of his play in that Pistons series. Again, another 3-1 lead blown, so that is also big issue. But it's a C because you did what we thought you were going to do. You were that kind of playoff riser guy that the Magic have kind of grown accustomed to, but I don't know if that's what they're going to need in the future. But before I get there, Franz, I give a D. I felt like he didn't exactly play his best basketball, and then also his injury, that calf strain, I think in game 6 and 7 really turned the tide in favor of the Pistons. That, for me, that was the reason the Pistons were able to win that series. If Franz doesn't get hurt, I think the Magic might come away with it. But he did get hurt, and then the Pistons went on to win that series. So that is a major, major chip on his block in terms of performance there. So I docked points for that. And then it doesn't look like these two players did mold and didn't play well together for me. I thought that they had some major issues in terms of what they looked comfortable doing on the court, what they felt like could be done in terms of just being productive. And truth to be told, Jamal Mosley was fired, so there is that as well. So it'll just be interesting to see where the Magic go from here. They'll kind of be like the Cavaliers, where there are questions to be asked and moves to be made. But for now, for their playoff series at least, playoff performances, Paolo gets a C, and then Franz gets a D. And then we get to the Thunder. This is kind of interesting. I gave J-Dub a C just because for me, watching him, his performances haven't been great. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, especially in this Thunder series. He's out tomorrow for Game 7, which that is a massive deal. He missed time. I think it was he left early in Game 2. I think he missed Game 3. He hasn't been the most available throughout the season, and even when he's on the court, he hasn't been exactly playing stellar basketball. And then Shea and Chet, I'll give them both A's. Shea is, even though he may not be playing at his peak prime level, he's still playing extremely, extremely well compared to pretty much everyone else. So that warrants an A. And then you get Chet. Chet also played very well throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Still playing well against Wemby, even though Wemby kind of is taking his lunch money. Wemby is also, for me right now, best player in the league. So that is also a major caveat that we have to deal with. But Chet gets an A, and so does SGA. And then the Nuggets. And oh boy, do the Nuggets stink. Jamal Murray gets a fat F. He looked horrible against Jaden McDaniels. He looked like he didn't know how to deal with that man at all. We thought that, playoff Jamal Murray existed for the entire season. Now he can do it during the playoffs as well. No, it seems like playoff Jamal Murray existed in the bubble, and that's it. He does not exist anymore. Whenever he runs into Jaden McDaniels, he gets scared, and he played scared. He played horribly, so he gets a fat F. And then Jokic also did not play his best brand of basketball. I think that he left a lot to be desired in terms of what he was able to do for the Nuggets. He wasn't exactly passing. He wasn't the greatest passer in the series. And on top of that, his scoring wasn't exactly at the level that you wanted him to be. It also felt like the effects of him rushing back from his injury during the season, it looked like he was still kind of dealing with that, which is a major issue, which in terms of his performance and having to deal with that. So he gets a D. But Jamal Murray stunk it up horrendously. It was horrible in every aspect you can imagine. And then Denny Avdia, I gave him a D. You were kind of cooked from the beginning. This is kind of like Booker. With the Suns, you were up against the Spurs. You were destined to fail from the beginning. There's no getting around that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I feel like his style of play with the really just crashing into everybody wasn't exactly the greatest recipe for success against a team with Victor Wembanyama. So that was a major issue that he had to deal with, and I don't think he dealt with that in the best way there. So he gets a D. And then final team for me, or final team in general, not for me. The 16th team in the playoff, Minnesota Timberwolves. I got 3 grades to hand out here. Julius Randle gave him a D. He looked stinky. He looked really bad in the series. Arguably one of his worst series, even considering the series that he had with the Knicks in the playoffs. He looked horrible to every extent of the word. And I was not pleased with that at all. Rudy Gobert, though. Rudy Gobert looked freaking fantastic, especially against Jokic, shut him down. And then even against Wemby, he had some impact against Wemby. Gobert played extremely well in the playoffs and provided immense value for them. I was really happy with with this whole playoff performance from Gobert. He gets a B plus, borderline A. I was really happy with what he did. And then Ant gets graded on a curve, mostly because he rushed back from the runner's knee and then he hyperextended his other knee. So there were the injuries that he had to deal with. Despite the injuries, he was still shooting the lights out. So that is a major bonus there. So that is a big positive. Also, his performances in, I think it was game 1 and game 4. He was doing his usual thing, coming up clutch when it mattered most for the Timberwolves, really elevating them and helping them come away with those 2 victories against the Spurs, their only victories in the series. So that was a big bonus for them. But it wasn't Anthony Edwards that we truly always wanted to see, especially in the Wemby series. So that is a major caveat there as well. but I'll give him a C. So that wraps up all of my grades for all 16 playoff teams and their stars. Now that we have done that, let's have some fun and go straight into game time and then wrap up the episode. Welcome to game time. I know there wasn't a lot really to talk about in the news and the main topic, but we're going to try and make it up here. So let's get started. First off, we're going to try and guess the FIFA World Cup top 4 positions from every World Cup, starting from 1930 to 2022. So Argentina, Italy, Germany, Brazil, France, Spain, England, Uruguay, Croatia, Netherlands, Belgium. Who else are we missing here? Portugal, France. Who did they beat? I know France beat Croatia. Argentina beat Morocco. 2002, Brazil and Germany in the finals. I know Mexico hasn't gotten there. United States, way back when in ancient times. Didn't Greece get there once? No. There's no African team. I know that for a fact. Oh, they counted Germany as West Germany. Never mind. Soviet Union / Russia. Oh. Wait, no. Orange, Netherlands, that's the same thing. Sweden, Switzerland, no. Chile, I said Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay. Colombia isn't one of them. Who are these 8 other teams? I should know this because I'm working through my World Cup previews right now. Germany, because it's a European team of some sort. I said England, right? Yeah, I've gone through all the winners. England, Belgium, said France, Argentina, Germany, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, the Netherlands, Croatia. Are there any other worthwhile teams we keep going towards Russia? I don't think so. And there's no worthwhile teams in. There's no worthwhile teams in Asia either. Because I know Japanese haven't gone there. I know China hasn't gone there. It's not the women's tournament. Who are these teams? I think I already got. Yeah, Chile I already guessed. That's not right. It's not Norway. Who are these other teams? I'm trying to picture a European map right now. Austria. Austria, Ecuador, Ecuador. No. Right. Who could this other team be? What the fudge? Huh. This is a big issue here. I don't know if I can figure out who these other teams are. I'm just throwing names out there at this point. No, because I know no other African team has gotten farther than semifinals with Morocco. Who are these other European and South American teams? I said United States, I said Mexico, I said Canada, said Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay. Who in the world am I missing? I genuinely don't know. Maybe nah, I have no idea. Poland. Oh, snap. Turkey, South Korea, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, Czech. Oh, yep. Probably should have gotten those. All right, moving on. Clyde Drexler. Go fudge. Oh, crud. I think I might have cooked this tier list completely. Russ and Dr. J. Elite tall guards. Right. I don't know if I consider Russ or Harden to be tall guards, but I guess. We'll do top 25. Blake Griffin, bottom tier. Chris Paul, go tier 3. Kobe, tier 2. D Wade, go 3. Carmelo will go tier 4. KG, tier 3. KD, tier 4. LeBron, tier 1. Embiid, 4. And Russ, tier 2. Fudge, that is disgusting. Joe Harris, cut. Dirk, keep. Fred, cut. Jaylen Brown will keep. Cat, keep. Bradley Beal will cut. Brunson will keep. And we'll cut Paul George. That is perfect. What? Yeah, no, there's no debating that right now for me, honestly. And then we'll do start, bench, cut. How many do we do? I'll go Jamal Murray, LaMelo, and John Morant. 100% of people agree with me. Ooh, wow. Jokic, Shea, Luka. Do that. This is number 3. We'll go Brandon Miller, Keontae, and then DeJounte Murray. And then we'll go Hallie, Flag, Trae Young. And last one, we'll go Prime, Russ, Ray Allen, and then Tatum. That is it for start, bench, cut. Kind of flying through these, but We'll go 4-3-2-1. Hopefully we get something good. We'll go Godin, and then Benzema, I guess. Rivaldo, easy. 98 Messi. Okay. Getting somewhere. Go Kante, I guess. Rijkaard, Petit. I'll go there. And then Fred. Swap these around. Maybe that helps me with something. Alexandro. Chemistry purposes. I guess Alderweireld works. And right, we'll take 72 there. Then we'll take Ederson. And it's just my back line. Doesn't give me any chemistry. We'll go Mbappe, even though that does help me. Boateng, I guess. Again, doesn't help me. That could be useful to some capacity. I'll take you for the rating. Right. He fits with just about everyone. Right. Okay. That works even. Oh, wow. That works even better. Take him. And then we'll pick up Hazard. We'll take him. We'll go Van Nistelrooy. And then we'll go Old Man De Rossi. And finally, Marquinhos. Interesting. Right. If I put... Oh, that works. Even better. Marquinhos on you get. De Rossi on you get. On you get Van Nistelrooy. On you get. And on you get. And my rating just jumped to a 192. That is impressive. Very impressive. Huh. Not bad. Not bad at all. I will take that. After that, we are going to be building our NFL squad. You know the deal. Quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receivers, coach, O-line, defense, defensive player. Do we get a good start? Okay, one option for the Falcons. Dijon Mustard. After that, Bengals or Bills. Bengals will go Jamar Chase to start it off, and then after that, I can take the Titans. Right. We'll go Robert Saleh from the Titans, I guess. That won't really hurt us in any way, I guess. Is a positive way to spin it. The Bears. Well, Colston Loveland. I won't be opposed to that, I guess. Ew. Right. I'll take Sonny Styles. He could be a freak of nature. After that, we'll go and we'll put Sonny Styles on the Texans defense. That is an interesting combination, to say the least. Who else? Please, Chiefs. Right. Good. Okay. Mahomes, obviously. And then we will take from the Lions. The Lions we will take Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then for the offensive line, please be decent. Yikes, Texans. Stinky Texans. What could I have changed? I don't think I could have changed anything. Yeah, there's no getting around that. It is what it is. Oh, it is what it is. Next, we are going to be building our soccer team. Hopefully, we get good players. I feel like we've been getting some good spins. Right. I don't want to waste my spot, but this is the only player I can think of. Oh, Aubameyang. I don't even know if I spelled that right, but Aubameyang. After that, Roma, Juve, stay there. Milis on the left. Only real two options for Juve right now, especially because the team is so bad, is Yildiz or Thuram in the midfield. But we'll take Arsenal. We'll go Declan Rice pretty easily. David Raya also would have been a good shout there because he's had one heck of a season. Back with Juventus. Told you there were only two worthwhile players from Juventus, and the other one is Thuram. So we're going to take him. Kind of shocking he got left out of the World Cup squad, but it's whatever. Roma will go Mancini as one of my center backs. And then United. Obvious. Premier League Player of the Year, Bruno Fernandes. That's not a hard choice. Then who else? Please. Yeah, I'll keep spinning. Ajax. I was looking at Ajax players earlier. Who do I take from Ajax? I guess I'll take Bas right now as one of the only players that comes to mind. Come on, please be good. Dortmund, keep spinning. Fudge. All right. Oh, my outside backs or my winger, Dortmund. If I had a midfield spot, I probably could have taken Job. We'll go Ryerson, I believe that's how you spell his name, Norwegian guy. On the right, and then on the left, please, no, don't, no, fuck. Right. Marseille. Who do I take from Marseille? Go Palmieri. I'll take him. I'm not happy with this. This team is already not good, and I can feel it in my bones. Chelsea, stay there. At least give me something that I can use. And, why am I blanking on his name? Chelsea goalie. My dad thought that was Areola the other day when we were watching Chelsea game. Sanchez. The fact that my dad thought it was Areola is hilarious. I told him maybe like 10 years ago. Sure. Now, not your wildest imaginations. Why so many Juventus players? We're not good. Conceição. That's not spelled correctly because I know there's a weird accent in there somewhere, but Conceição. And yikes, the defense more than anything is horrendous. Midfield is nice. The midfield is really fucking good. But the defense is horrendously bad. It scares me how bad that defense is. So, yeah, we're just not going to talk about that. Because, yeah, yikes. After that, we are going to tier list not all, but a good number of the relevant receivers in the league. We'll start off Jordan Addison. We'll go C. Brandon Ayuk, D tier. If we could give you a Z tier, I'd put you there. AJ will go C. Amon-Ra will go A. Brian Thomas, D. Jamar Chase, obviously S tier. Devontae, solid season. We'll go C. Terry, D tier. Devontae, we'll put him there. Diggs will go D tier. Moore will go D. DK, C tier. Dobbs will go B. London will go B. Mike Evans go C. And then Godwin will also go C. I'll put him there. Tyreek F. What is his name? He went to the Jaguars. I know exactly what that is. I am sorry for you audio listeners. You go. Honestly, not a bad. You go B. JMO. D. Same with Golden. Jettas S. Jawan Jennings C. Judy will also go C. JSN S tier. Keon F tier or D tier. You can go C. CD. Bit of a down year. Also go C. Panthers receiver go C. Lockett. D tier. Terry McLaurin, C. Marv, C. Neighbors. He got hurt. There, Olave, B. Pickens, fucking S tier. Pittman, C. A lot of mid. Puka, S tier. Why am I blanking on his name? The Texans receiver, big boy, B tier. No, that's not Xavier Worthy. It's the other Chiefs receiver. You go C tier. Calvin Ridley, D tier. Rome, B. Shakir will go C. Sutton, solid B. T. Higgins, still an A tier receiver. Thielen, D tier. You got messed up halfway through the season, then got cut and released, whatever. You got hurt halfway through the season. Waddle will go C. Wilson will go B tier. Worthy, D tier. And then Zay Flowers, you go there alongside Ladd. That is my speed run. A lot of mid and a lot of blech for the receivers this year. But that is pretty standard, to be honest, with the receiver landscape, so to speak. Who else are we going to do? We now are going to build a quarterback. And not just any quarterback. The way this is going to work, we are just going to be building a quarterback, and we're just going to go in order from arm to IQ, body, mobility, accuracy, and clutch. So I have zero say in how this turns out. I can't pick and choose. We'll start off with Caleb Williams for arm. That's not a bad start. Caleb Williams has a very, very good arm. I will take that. After that, who do we get? Just give us good players. Jordan Love, IQ, okay, not great, but it could have been worse. Could have been stuck with some pumpkins. Stay there on Baltimore. Lamar. Oh, fudge. If I have a cone that can't move with Lamar's body, that's a bit of an issue. And fudge. I have a cone that can't move. We have Dak. And Dak has not moved the same since he destroyed his ankle. Bobert Nix. I fear for what this is going to be. Not bad. I feel like if we get a clutch quarterback, if we get like Mahomes here or Stafford. Oh, stay there. Actually, no, we can't do repeats. No repeats on building players. Gosh darn it. Who else? Please be good. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You have got to be absolutely kidding me. It was off to such a good start. We had a good arm, Caleb Williams, a decent IQ with Jordan Love. Lamar Jackson's body is not bad, but it was kind of the start of the downfall. Because when you put that body with a quarterback that can't move, you kind of cooked. And then Bo Nix's accuracy isn't bad, but Jackson Dart's clutch. might be one of the worst options imaginable. Ew. That's scary. Scary bad. So we're going to go to the NBA. And now we got to guess the player. So we got Steph Curry here. It is not in the West, not a guard, younger than 38. So it's a forward slash center. Freaking Alex Sarr. East, 7 foot. Guard slash forward that's 7 foot. The heck are we talking about here? Not in the East. The heck? Mobley? So it's not in the Southeast. It's not in Central. So it's the Atlantic. It's Cat. What? Forward slash. No, Mitch is a center. What are we talking about here? Ew. No. Ugh. Don't. Alright. We go NBA team here. Gotta beat the Monstars and all-time team here. All-time players. But Mitchell Robinson is a forward? First player, we're taking Shaq. I'm gonna stay on. Since when is Mitchell Robinson a forward? The dude. No. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. I guess we'll go De'Aaron Fox. That's kind of stinky, but the Kings don't have anyone in their history. And we were taking players on this team. Ooh. LeBron. Prime 2012 LeBron. By the way. Subject to change, but it does not look like we will have to because we are getting KG to play the 4. And then I just need a spacer there. You give me Jordan? Reggie? Stay there. I will take Reggie at the 2. Fit-wise, I'm not. It works, but you don't really have a primary ball handler because that's not exactly De'Aaron Fox's bag. You do have good spacing with Reggie, but then LeBron, KG, and Shaq kind of crowd the paint a lot. So there are definitely some flaws with that. I'm still gonna go the Monstars. Yeah. Obviously, Luka over Fox. I'll take Ant versus Reggie. I'll take Prime LeBron over that version of KD. KG over current day LeBron. I'll take that, and then Shaq, Jokic. You go whatever way you want to. But I feel like the fit of the Monstars team over here makes a lot more sense because both Jokic and Luka can be your primary ball handler and can be your passing hubs, so to speak. And then you have the shooting with Ant and Durant, and then you have LeBron doing everything that he has to be. You could be a fifth man in this rotation, which works fine. So I honestly will lean towards the Monstars team, but I'm not sure. I think this might be the closest matchup they have since I miraculously spun those 5 players. I don't even know, what was that, like 4 weeks ago at this point. But now we gotta guess the NBA team, and I'll take the guesswork out of it. It's Alliance, because that is Amon Ra. That is JMO. That is Gibbs. That is Goff. That is Sewell. That is Blake Miller. That is Laporta. So, yeah, that's Alliance. I don't even need to spend any time on that. And here, not a receiver. Without a Super Bowl in the AFC, we'll go younger. I was gonna go Derrick Henry, but it's not Derrick Henry. Go fucking Chase Brown. Oh, it's 0 rushing attempts. Right. Or no. It's a running back. So it's not the AFC North. AFC. No, because it can't be Pollard. Woody Marks. Yes. I am too good at this game. After that, we'll build our lineup here. Huh. Right. Nico Collins, that's his name. I blanked on that man's name so hard when I was doing the tight end tier or the receiver tier list. Obviously we're not taking Tua. I am not even coming close to touching to him. We'll take I don't feel great about any of these running backs here. I'll take Darnold for 2. And then I'll put I feel like I can take Pacheco, Neighbors, Nico Collins, and Kincaid. And that's a very solid lineup. Yeah, I'll take that over whatever else can be found. And now we are back to building players, this time an NBA player. And again, we are going to be building a big. And again, I have no say in the order because it's going body, shooting, passing, dribbling, finishing, and rebounding. So my fate is up to the wheel at this point, and hopefully things go my way. And we start off with the Clippers, who does Zubac count? I don't think so because he didn't end the season with the Clippers. Centers. What had what? John Collins, Brooke Lopez. Oh, fuck. We'll take John Collins because he can actually move some. Brooke Lopez is a statue at this point, so let's avoid him at all costs. Utah Jazz. Shooting. Is Lowry considered a center? I don't think Lowry's considered a center. So who else? You got... I don't know if Jaren Jackson Jr. is considered center, but he might be. You got Filipowski. I think Nurkic is on that team. And then you got Walker Kessler. So for shooting, I guess I'll take Walker Kessler. Though I'm not the biggest fan of that. Please give me something good. Ooh, Stanley Nuggets. Mavericks passing. God, Lively, I guess. I'm getting all the wrong spots here. Fudge. My God, no. 76ers. What do I get from Joel Embiid? His dribbling. Which is not great. Fucking fantastic. Please. And thank you. Thunder. Chet. Why? If only I was doing a normal wheel spin. Rebounding, who do I get? You've got to be kidding me. The Hawks? No. Kongwu? You've got to be... No, this is horrible. So, fuck me, bro. This could have been so much better. I could have had Kessler's 6'7" frame. I could have taken Gafford's finishing, Chet's rebounding, Embiid's shooting. I don't know, John Collins dribbling. And then we'll just say, fuck it, he doesn't need to pass. We'll take a Kongwu passing. Oh, that could have been so much better than this. Oh, if only. Bruno Fernandez, guessing the soccer player, so it's a midfielder. Go Barella. Not in Serie A. Pedri. Not in La Liga. So where does Buddy play? That's not very helpful. It's not Bundesliga. Oh, do as a forward. God freaking. Oh. Why did I just guess another PSG player if I knew it wasn't a PSG player? Fuck. Who are these Ligue 1 midfielders? Hallberg. No. Tomlinson. Nope. So, what do we know? This dude is between ages 20 and 23. He's a midfielder in Ligue 1. And he wears number between 23 and 17. Right. Fuck. I don't know how I'm going to be able to get this. I don't know. I don't think that's right. He's 22. Julio. Yeah, there was no way I was getting him. Good friggin' luck. Okay. Right. Now, to end things off in game time, we got NBA stats leader by year from 2026 all the way back to 1950. Got 15 minutes to do this. We'll obviously go LeBron, Durant, Jordan, Kareem, Hakeem, Curry, Harden, Westbrook, Rodman, Thomas, Paul, Stockton, Malone, Kobe, Magic, Bird, McHale, Parrish, no, Russell, Wilt, Shea, Jokic, Embiid, Tatum, apparently not. Oh, if we're talking steals, Barkley, Noah, no, Ibaka, McGrady. Who led the league in? Oh, Luka. Oh, Giannis. Who am I missing here? Oh, wow. I'm missing a lot of players here. Elgin Baylor, Gervin, Robertson, Robinson. Kidd, Nash. Carmelo, Iverson, 95. Blocks. Lopez. Oh, Wembanyama is already up there. Oh, Gobert, obviously. What? Jaren Jackson Jr. Who is leading the league in assists now? I don't know. Oh, Asar. Derek White. Or did Marcus Smart get on here for that? No. DeJounte Murray. I know he led the league in assists or steals one year. DeAndre Jordan. Blake Griffin, is he on here for anything? Joakim Noah. No. Is Derrick Rose on here for anything? Who are these players now? I'm trying to think recently. Is Jaylen Brown on here for anything? No. Who are these rebounding guys? Did Zubac do it? Wade, Bosch, Shaq, obviously. Shaq only has one thing. Put Rodman. Thomas. I already guessed Isaiah Thomas. Dumar. Oh. Dwight Howard. Wallace. I said both Malones, right? Tell me Karl Malone didn't lead the league in scoring any year. Oh no, because fuck. Obviously Jordan. Ewing, Drexler, Reggie Miller, Allen, Dirk Nowitzki, Garnett. There we go. KG. Well, Pierce for anything. Bosch for anything. Nope. Morning. Lots of morning. Worthy on here. McAdoo. Pettit has got to be on here. Mikan, Kuzi. Mikan, Kuzi, Pettit. Havlicek, Maravich. No. I am just trying to guess players at this point, bro. 56 out of 126, missing 70 players. Let me think. Last year. Like the scoring, I have down until 87, bro. Scoring, I am chilling on. It's the friggin' rebounds and blocks that I don't know. It's because who are these big men? That I don't know. Is Kawhi on here for anything? Steals, that makes sense. I already said Duncan, right? Manu, no. Parker, Gasol, is he on here for anything? Nope. Lowry, Butler. Towns? No. I'm trying to think of guys who... Oh, is Anthony Davis on here? Should be on here or something. Cousins? No. If Boogie's not on here... I'm trying to do 2016, like the past 10 years. I want to at least complete that. But I don't think it's gonna fit because Marcus Smart, the year he won DPOY, is not on here. John Wall on here for anything is Gortat on here for anything at this point. Who else? What in the world? Mitchell, no. Irving, Kyrie not on here. Jared Allen on here. I'm trying to think of Embiid has got to be on here for something. I already guessed Joel Embiid. Who in the world are these players? Booker, Lillard, no. Aldridge. Who are these big men? Lopez on here. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, no. The Bulls don't have a big man. It's not Giannis. Pistons haven't had anyone noteworthy for ages. The Raptors, no. Celtics, Porzingis, is he on here for anything? Is Al Horford on here for anything? No. The Knicks. Is Rick Barry on here for anything? Yes, he is. I'm forgetting about those two Knick legends that won the championship in 70, whenever they won. I can't remember the names. The Knicks, though, the Nets. I said Jason Kidd, right? Yeah, I said Jason Kidd, so. It's not Dr. J. The Hornets, there's no way. Like Kemba? No. Gilbert Arenas? No. The Magic, Shaq, Dwight. It's not Paolo. Is it Jonathan Isaac for blocks? No. Who could this possibly friggin' be? Yao Ming on here for blocks. No. McGrady. Hardaway is on here for something. No. Dude, I feel like an idiot right now. Who in the world are these players that I don't know? Is Pippen on here for anything? Obviously. What is he on here for? Probably steals or something. Yeah, steals. Pippen. Who else? Oh my goodness. I honestly cannot come up with a single fucking thing. This is horrendous. Fucking. Oh. Draymond Green's got to be on here for something. Draymond Green. I already guessed KD. Please, brain, give me some sort of inspiration in the next minute 45. Brain blast. Big men. Is Chet on here? No. Already said Shea. I don't have no idea who this is. Curry, LeBron. Who are these people? What in the world is this? Oh my goodness. Please cooperate. Oh wow. I am thoroughly embarrassed. I'm missing 62 names. Almost half of the names I'm missing here. Wilkins. There we go. 2 names. What's Dominique Wilkins and Lenny Wilkins? I think. Yeah. Alright. Missing 60 names. Did I say Barkley? Yeah, I did. Sabonis. Dyson. Drummond. Camby. Mutombo. Obviously. Eaton. Manute Bol. Elvin Hayes. Dolph Shays. Yeah. Probably should have gotten some of these. Like Mutombo. Obviously. Camby should have gotten that as well. Rondo was an easy one for assists. Then Drummond. Yeah. That's fair. That is fair. Alright. But that is going to be the end of game time and essentially the end of the episode because as I've been talking about in the past couple episodes, there is no real sporting events that are happening. Although Champions League final is happening tomorrow. So there is that Arsenal PSG. I have PSG winning personally. I think they're going to go back-to-back champions for the first time since Real Madrid three-peated with Zidane, Ronaldo, Benzema, and Gareth Bale. So I have PSG coming away. I think that they're just the better overall squad. They have way more attacking power than Arsenal, but it'll still be a very, very interesting game to watch. And then other than that, the NBA Finals is also tomorrow. So that, or not NBA Finals, Game 7 of Thunder Spurs, but I've already talked about that. And then other than that, World Cup starts in 2 weeks from now, so that should also be on your radar. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot to talk about in terms of upcoming events. So without further ado, I shall sign it off. Peace.